So Trump is being carpeted over the Ukraine phone call now. No surprise after the Russian collusion failed. When he appeared to ask whether Biden family role in the Ukraine is legitimate. It's not. I can tell you that. 100% it's not. And yet again, no one asks the basic questions. Why hasn't the CIA, the NSA, and the Department of Homeland Security investigated that previously? Given it's a potential national security issue, is it not? Operating in other countries that involve government-level entities is surely as much of an issue as the alleged Russian collusion. Or do they just pick certain countries where it's okay? Well, who decides whether you can engage one country or another? We all know who that is. Well, you should do by now. Perhaps this headline gives you the answer. The CIA whistleblower complaint about his conduct on a call with Ukraine's president has turned into a full-court impeachment scandal, with a second whistleblower about to enter the fray said to have an intelligence background. That's a misnomer. Why the secrecy of which intelligence background? No surprise it was the CIA with the first attempt, because they are the coup Trump spoke about, in my opinion. The lawyer who's bringing this case forward, Andrew P. Bakar, who just so happens to be a former CIA officer. Well, I would never have guessed that. It appears to always be them behind everything sinister and wrong about this country. It is they who dictate policy in this country, home and abroad. They with the dodgy intel, actually it's not dodgy, but fabricated information, who pushed us into several wars, some of them never ending. They who are involved in all the clandestine money-making programs, from gun running to drugs to trafficking, and it's they who assassinate leaders of other countries because they won't play their game. It is they who are involved in the climate change and the weather wars, they who control the new tech, given the U-2 spy plane story. They who, as mentioned earlier, are responsible for thousands of deaths during the most heinous experiments in this and several other countries. It is they who are involved in Hotel California project when missing in action or declared prisoners of war in Vietnam. No, they were not missing at all. They were flown into underground bunkers here in the US and treated to the most heinous experiments ever. It was they who did Project Phoenix. People will be familiar with that in a show not too far from here. In Vietnam, doing hideous torture techniques on the Viet Cong people who had done nothing to anyone in this country. It is they that cover up the ET disclosure. They who send hundreds of agents to create the news with fake scripts. They who took out JFK and Reagan. And they who are responsible for the deaths of 1.8 million Iraqis alone. I hope people understand now, with the exposure of these agencies, how little part the government plays in anything. Governments are not the problem. Ignoring the fact that it's not even a real government but a corporation. Governments have little to no say in anything. How many discuss policies or plans of the government in public? None. Why? Because these agencies run the show, and they're the ones that have to be stopped.